So this is what if Deku was a Predator Part 2. Or, well, technically a half Predator reboot version. So guys, I'm sorry if you're confused and you're watching my old series, but my new reboot series are always gonna have the name Reboot behind them. So yeah. So Deku basically goes to school because I last left off with Deku was walking back to school with his hero costume and they go in class one night. So everything's okay, and then All Might busts through the door and explains to the class they're doing quirk combat training. Now Deku doesn't know anything about All Might. He did know stories from his mom that he told about the number one hero in society on planet Earth. But Deku doesn't have any respect for him in this universe because he mostly has respect for the um, prime superior predator. Now, Deku, everybody gets ready and they pretty much walk off. Now, they get handed their hero costumes and they get dressed up. Now, Deku's hero costume is just like this, what you see in the picture right now, the thumbnail and everything. Deku's hero costume is this, the Predator Killer outfit. Don't really know where this comes from, but it just looks like a predator, so Deku's gonna be having this. So Deku basically made this out of the middle of a predator, pretty much made it out the same middle as the predator ships, and pretty much at the strongest middle on Predator Island or Predator Planet. Deck pretty much this middle in this universe of Predator Island is a middle on there that is incredibly hard to find, but incredibly big amounts in it. Also incredibly, I mean like stronger than vibranium, titanium, carbonadium, everything is stronger than all those things combined. Every Marvel middle, every DC middle, is invincible, but it does have a very low. It does have you do have to the melted have to go like supernova on it. Now Deku can melt this because it is in this universe. It is a volcano in Predator Island. Deku just attached the middle inside of like a huge a huge bin hidden in there, and pretty much it started melting the middle. Deku pulled it up, and the middle was melted. Deku carved it and shaped it around a predator suit, pretty much making a predator armor. Deku used Deku also coated his predator weapons with this, the smart disc, everything, and Deku basically became Deku basically had invincible armor. So Deku already, looked up some skills about how, Earth doesn't have the necessary, heat resources to burn his middle. So Deku, doesn't know for sure because quirks are a thing in this universe, and it's probably a quirk that can melt anything if he it's probably somebody out there that has a quirk that he can melt anything if he puts his hand on top of that object. But Deku basically gets ready, and everybody's looking at Deku's outfit saying that's pretty cool, man. Now, Deku still has fingerless gloves, and also Deku does have a, Predator, the Predator symbol that you get on the Predator versus Aliens, the first one when Predator, went up against some aliens for the recognition, or like the, um, whatever, sorry guys. Sorry. Um. Yeah. So Deku basically has a mark on his back that represents his name, his human name in Predator language. No, Deku gets ready, and everybody's saying that his outfit is pretty cool and it's awesome, bro. And they're getting really hyped up. So they get ready, and Deku walks off. So they get ready, and Deku's teamed up with Ochaku. Actually, scratch that. Deku's teamed up with Minata. Ochaku is switched with Minata in his spot, but in Minata's pretty much in Minata's situation, they still lose because Ochaku's on their team. So Minata goes with Deku, and pretty much they get started. So Deku tells Minata, to Mina. Yeah, Mina, I think it is. Because some of you guys said her name is Mina. Deku tells Mina to go up there and, stall Ida or take him down so I can take down Bakugo and meet you up there. So she runs off and Deku automatically goes in his camouflage mode. Deku's, sprinting down the hallways, making as minimal noise as possible, still in camouflage mode. See that Bakugo's walking down the hall, looking around, not seeing Deku. Deku sneakily, tips toes behind Bakugo, grabs Bakugo's shoulder, and pretty much jumps him down into the ground. Bakugo is, confused and just starts throwing explosions randomly all around his body. Deku dodges all of them and takes one of his, you know, wrist knives and pretty much stabs Bakugo right in the foot. Bakugo yells out in pain and sees Deku because Bakugo's blood splattered on Deku's suit. And pretty much, since blood is, a liquid, Deku basically Deku basically, decamouflaged because a predator's cloning mechanism can't be going on after, they're soaked in water or some sort of, liquid. So, Deku, being, a hunter, flees the scene, seeing that Bakugo noticed him. Bakugo runs after, doesn't really run, limps, like, really fast towards Bakugo. Deku. Bakugo is looking at Deku, just, pissed. Really angry. Deku stops for a minute, takes out one of his swords, he did make a sword out of this metal. Deku sprints back to Bakugo. Bakugo pulls his gauntlet off the bat right at Deku, and Deku dodges it, throwing the katana, and the other one that Bakugo, hasn't, taken off the pin on. Deku runs over to Bakugo, pulling the pin while he's drop kicking Bakugo in the face off of his gauntlet. Deku jumps off of Bakugo's face, camouflaging back into, the shadows, and that Bakugo gets up, seeing that the gauntlet is, it is jammed, but also is going off. So Bakugo tries to pull out the sword, but every time he tries to pull out the sword, he cuts his hand, because the sword is incredibly sharp. Deku's seeing this from a background, like in the distance, and it goes off, and Bakugo's automatically folded, just folded. Like Hulk kicked him straight in the nonas, in the conuts. Pretty much, Deku sees Bakugo, sitting there, with scorch marks all around his body, and him, his hair all puffed up, and him just looking into nothingness, just freaking terrified. Deku, sprints off, running up the stairs, seeing that Ida is fighting Minata. Mina throws some, acid towards Ida's feet, but Ida starts, dodging all of her attacks. Deku sprints right towards Ida, and Deku takes out one of his, predator staffs and stabs Ida right in the leg. Ida yells out in pain and throws, another super kick towards Deku. Deku dodges it, camouflage, grabs Ida's head behind him right now, and I don't know, he throws his he throws his head down to the ground, but before his head hits the ground, Deku takes his, spiky shoes, puts it underneath his head, and huge gashes just appear on Ida's neck. Now, the medical teachers had to get there as fast as possible. Ida wasn't paralyzed, he just couldn't be able to walk or use his quirk for a couple of days. And Deku was, suspended for a day. Now, Deku, since he was suspended for a day, Deku still went to the USJ event. We're gonna get that in part 3. But Deku, still fought, everybody else. So Deku went back to, UA the next day, well, Deku wasn't really expelled for a day. He was expelled for the rest of the day, and given a bunch of homework to complete in the last hours of the night that he had. So Deku went to school the next day, turned in his homework, and pretty much I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Sorry if this one was kind of short, but bye. And oh, sorry guys. I don't know if I zoned out because my phone blacked out. So I don't really know if I said bye in the intro or the outro. But yeah, guys, Deku goes to school the next day, blah blah blah, and the USJ begins. So guys, I'm gonna leave it off here. See you guys later. Have a blessed day. Bye.